it's Steph, and today I want to talk a little bit about transitions in yoga. So I think that transitions sometimes get lost along the way when we're just trying to get to pose, or maybe there is no transition and we're just moving kind of from one pose to the next without actually thinking about how we're gonna get there. So that's one of the best parts of yoga, I think, is building strength and breath and awareness in the transitions from pose to pose. So as a teacher, it's really important for me to be able to instruct my students in a way that allows them to have an experience in their body as they're moving from one pose to the next without just saying up dog, down dog, or forward fold, down dog. How can I take them there and explain to them where they want to be feeling the movement, what is their breath, what do I want them to bring awareness to, what are we focusing on here versus just saying poses. So one of the transitions that I think is the most challenging for any style of yoga, almost any student, when they start, struggles with stepping through their feet from down dog coming into a lunge or warrior one. So that transition right here is coming just from down dog, stepping the foot through either into warrior one or into a high lunge. So if you are flexible, you might not have a problem with that. It might be really easy, but there's also ways to build strength there, even if it is an easier transition for you. So I'm going to show you that in just a moment. But one of the best ways you can do is create a progression and a build up to start to build the strength and the core strength and control to draw the knee through, create space, and then step the foot through. So this is one of the best transitions that I show people all the time because it is very common that people struggle with this transition. So from downward facing dog, one of the easiest things we can do to start is lift the leg back. So a lot of times we just try and step the foot through without actually getting some momentum to draw that foot through. So in core strength vinyasa or functional flow, we start by bending the knees and elbows. So we soften the joints first, and then we send the leg back. Notice when they send the leg back that I'm not here, so my hip is nice and level with the opposite hip. I'm pressing away here, and then we get this bending motion of softening the knees and the elbows as I draw that knee into the chest. Now notice when that knee comes in, I press away, draw the knee, and I lift the hips as high as I can to create space to step that foot through. So if I don't bend or lift the hips, let's say I just send that leg back, that gets a little bit harder. Or if I'm just here and I draw the knee in, I still don't have enough space to step the foot through. But if I bend, inhale, exhale, and then press away, lift the hips, engage the core, I can create a lot more space. Now I personally have really long arms, so I can press the ground away, but I also have really long legs, so I really need to press away to lift myself up to get that foot through. So that is a way to practice it from down dog. But let's say down dog is even challenging for you. What would be another great way to do it is from tabletop. You can practice the same thing, what we call core plank, from tabletop by sending the leg back, pressing away again and pressing through the arms and the legs. Inhale, then as I exhale, bend the knees and lift the hips, drawing that knee in. So here I'm getting that core plank action. And then this time, maybe I lift up and I step the foot to replace the hand. You can always use blocks here as well. And then from there, I can go into my high lunge. So there's another option from tabletop. A great in between, let's say you can do down dog and core plank, but you're still struggling. What you're gonna do is you're gonna do that inhale, exhale, draw it in, and then step the foot just as high as you can. Let's say it's just here. What I'm gonna do is, if you need to grab blocks, is I'm going to make this be where my pose is and just shift the back foot back a little bit. So all that does is just shifts my pose back a little bit on the mat, but I'm still in a lunge, I'm still in the pose. So maybe I'm here and all I can do is step my foot this far up, no problem. Grab those blocks, step the back foot back, stack the back knee over the ankle, wherever you're going, let's say it's high lunge, you're here and you can come up into it. Yeah, I'm a little bit further back on my mat, but it's the same pose. So working on those transitions are gonna be really important, I'm out of breath, because that's hard work. So we have to breathe through it, we have to engage the core, we have to soften the elbows. So these are all things that as an instructor, I try and cue and break down as much as possible so that there are options for everyone. So that's just one transition. There's a lot of other transitions such as our core plank, moving from our, let's say, warrior one into a warrior two. We always reset and come to the wide side of the mat first before we come up into that warrior two. So a lot of times in traditional classes, you'll hear warrior one to warrior two without changing the hips or the feet or the base. Two totally different poses for the hips and the feet and the legs. So we take the time to set them back up and move into them a little bit slower with core strength. And it's just a little bit different way to move, and it builds more strength, builds more heat, more power in your body, you're breathing more, you're just more aware of what your body's doing in space as you're moving around on your mat. So if you're struggling with transitions at all, join us for our Intro to Yoga series coming up, or come to any of our functional flow classes or workshops where we can really break down the different options, because everyone is different and has an individual experience. So we want to make sure that you're getting these transitions and that you're getting the most out of them.